The What's Good Podcast.
Hey ladies and gents, this is your girl Brianna Javon with another episode of What's Good Podcast. Today, ladies and gents, I have the fabulous Fabkara in the building, Miss Kara.
Hello.
Hello!
So excited to be here.
Y'all cannot stop laughing. I cannot stop cheesing. She is in the
I
building.
showed up.
Okay, she did.
I walked in the place.
She did. All of her, okay? She did not leave nothing in the car, nothing at home.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Yes. So as y'all know, we do not have interviews. Instead, we have genuine conversations. And so we're just going to go straight into it.
Okay.
Our icebreakers. You ready?
All right.
Okay.
You already know I'm ready.
Okay.
Stop playing with me.
I know, right? All right, so your icebreaker is, and I cannot wait to hear this. Okay. What is one article of clothing that someone could wear that would make you walk out on a date with them?
I guess I'm thinking of that mushroom suit from Boomerang, where it's coordinated with the coordinated shirt, coordinated belt with the mushroom shirt, mushroom belt.
John Witherspoon.
I cannot.
That is my favorite movie. That's how
I
know
love that scene.
You gotta coordinate.
No, bruh, I cannot.
So you out.
I'm out.
You're not even gonna
Like
look
when
back.
the shoes and the belt and the shirt and the hat, I can't do it.
That's a done deal.
Out.
Oh.
Done.
Alright, so y'all heard it. Don't come to the date looking like that. Nah, don't do it. Just I wish I could see her face. Okay. So let's get into our
Alright, it's a
agenda.
podcast. I'll try to verbalize my nonverbals.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the genuine conversation.
Okay.
I want you to introduce yourself to them as you introduce yourself to me. Like the whole spiel. Who is Kara?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm the absolutely fabulous, anointed and charismatic Kara Adams, and I am a woman on a mission to put kingdom couples together so they are wildly attracted for life, because just being married is not good enough. That's what I'm all about.
That's it. Okay.
I'm sorry, I started saying that, I started tickling myself because I'm like, I'm a lot. Like somebody's like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, I'm the absolutely fabulous. Like,
I mean, you go 100% in.
yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about today. So you are, when I first, transitioned into like being a creator and things of that nature, you always heard, be the brand every day, show up, show out. You were maybe one of the first ones I saw do that and was confident in yourself.
Yes.
Where does this confidence come from?
It's so interesting you said that, because confidence is one of the things I decided I'm going to focus on with my circle of influence, because I feel like there's too many people that are not loving themselves enough.
Yeah.
Because when you love yourself a lot, you are confident of, I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am in Christ. I know, that's where it comes from. But there's a whole bunch of Christians and kingdom people that are timid. And it says, God did not give that to you. That spirit of timidity, of feeling like you have to tippy toe in instead of walking in and owning the place and strutting and coming in and showing who is this, who is that. That whole energy, that whole vibe, that comes from self-love.
Yeah.
That comes from knowing yourself. That comes from taking time and going, okay, who am I now in this season? Who am I now? What do I have to give the world? What does the world need that only I can offer?
Yeah.
That's where the confidence comes from. So I've gotten to this point, this persona is not a persona. It's not fake. It's me, whether I'm tired, whether I'm angry, whether I'm upset, whatever, I'm still this person. And so it's not something I turn on or turn off. I'm not on. I am this way. And so I think what's neat is the people that have been in my circle, like we talked about somebody that's known me a long time, they've seen me in everything. They've seen me pregnant. They've seen me tired. They've seen me cold. They've seen me grumpy. And then if it's 20-something years later and they're still rocking with me, it's because of the consistency of me being exactly who I've always been and exactly who I am.
I love it. So, like, you don't change up at all. That's why I was like, you know, give me that introduction, because I know it's the same.
Yes.
Like, you didn't hesitate, like, what introduction?
Nah, I was like, do you want the long one, you want the short one? Like, how much time we got? Which one did you need? Did you want me to stand up and do it? Like, I'm like, what you got? What you need?
Because you are here.
Yes.
So where did the Fab Kara come from?
It actually came when I was a teacher. I used to be a classroom high school teacher. I used to teach graphic design and marketing.
Nice.
And so somewhere in there, I don't know, I created this energy of, I was in business and I brought that whole business energy into my classroom. So I'm a certified trade and industrial teacher, as well as a certified in marketing too, because you know I'm all that and extra. So I was able to take what I actually did into the classroom. So unlike some of the other teaching folks, because I think I'm mentioning this because so many of us are homeschooling. Y'all, parents, this is just a little quick thing, it's not what we're talking about today, but you are not a teacher and you're not qualified to be a teacher. And even if you are a teacher, you already know your children don't listen to you because you're their mama or you're their daddy. They listen to teachers in a way that they don't listen to anybody else. So what your job is to be their coach, to be their guidance, to be their support, to make sure that they have the right environment to learn. You can't nag your child into learning. You can't force them. You can't enforce it. You can't do it like chores. It's not that way. What you can do is this a quiet environment so you can log into your online environment? Have I provided you with your basic needs? Have I looked at who you are as a person, because each child is different? If your child is not a morning person, what can you do to get them on an asynchronous schedule, the fancy word for not having school at 8 o'clock in your spot all day long? Because I had a job last year where I was on camera all day long for my, I was in sales and marketing, I have that background, and I hated it. And I told myself I would never do it, and then, hi, COVID. Now my children are experiencing that. It makes no sense. So all my own advice to parents is, parent and love your children. This is an opportunity to love your children like you never have. And you know, I'm all about love. So this is a great opportunity. If you want to plant more wisdom, you want to plant seeds of greatness, this is an opportunity, because most of you are spending more time with your children than you ever have. And so stop. Who cares how messy their room is? Who cares if your house is a wreck? If there's love there, all they're going to remember is the love. They will internalize the chores. The chores they can learn on their own. When they get their own stuff and it's their own place and they pay for it, they're going to shock you with how they're going to be like, take your shoes off. You're like, who is this child? You left my house a wreck. So parents, chill on some of that stuff. They're going to learn it. Chill. But think about, who did God give you to nurture and guide? And love them through it. And teach them resiliency. And imbue in them confidence. And tell them how great they are. Catch them doing something good. When they do something, they break something, or something's not working, underreact. And instill the confidence of that you know they know the solution. So anyway, I brought all that to my teaching. So, when one of the best posts on Facebook from my former students was, they talked about all the things they learned in my class. So it didn't matter if they took marketing or graphic design with me. And most of what they talked about was stuff like life skills and conflict resolution and getting along with difficult people and working hard under pressure and stress and deadlines and all these things and world events and tapping into your creative and all these things. Wasn't in the curriculum per se. And so that's one of those things. And also, I had a great platform to instill the ability to believe you could do anything. So for example, I'm very competitive, so there were a lot of different contests that I put my students in. And I literally started the school year with, I'm going to this award ceremony in October, and we're going to win first, second, and third. You just have to decide which one of y'all is coming with me. Because I'm already getting ready to pick up my trophies from the state winners last year. So who is it going to be? Because we literally run 10 years straight. I talked to somebody yesterday, and he was talking about a different contest, and he was like, I remember that contest. He's like, didn't we just win? I said, yeah, the first year I didn't figure it out. We only won first, they had grand prize, first place.
Okay.
So we won the first places. We won like 3 of the 5. The next year, we won grand prize and like all the first places. The next year, we won grand prize because that's what I do. So what I'm saying is, I don't recruit students. It's whoever God put in front of me. My confidence is transferable. So when I say we're gonna win, and then I prove it, and then they got trophies, and then they go, oh my gosh, and then it's life-changing.
Yes.
That carries forever. That's the confidence I'm talking about. That's how you can instill confidence in other people. That's how you can love other people.
Oh. I'm getting the confidence here sitting with you.
Just saying. It's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
And so what's interesting about that first grand prize winner, this is what's so cool about it. I'm a hard taskmaster, and so it's funny to hear all the different stories of people's experience with me, but it's like it's done from love.
Yeah.
So she had done this work. We do all this, we do it on paper, we do thumbnails, we do the things, we do the whole big idea, we do it in color. She gets done and like, I need you to change that. And
so how do they take that? Like, oh, I know I need to be perfect. I have to make it work.
No, most people have writer's block. So they have this blank piece of paper, like, how am I gonna get some stuff on there, right? Or, like you said, I have my perfectionist.
Right.
But most people, it's all fear, it's all fear. It's all fear.
Yeah.
So at some point, this baby girl looks at me like, I just did all this thing, it is beautiful. And it was beautiful. But I'm like, I need you to change this. I mean, it was minor, it was little. So change it. And it was one of those defining moments when I could see her struggling. We're talking about teenagers. She's like, I did the work, it's on time, it's beautiful, I did everything you asked me to do, and now you want me to change it? It's going to take me forever to change that? Really? That's what you asked me to do? Yep, that's what I'm asking you to do. You going to do it or not?
Right.
Defining moment. Because she did it. Then she won. And we're not talking about something little. We're like, it was $1,000. Then she won $500 gift card. She won like $1,000 worth of stuff. I won $1,000 stuff. The radio station did a live remote. My whole program was to go hang out and be outside for a party. That from her changing one thing. And I said, was it worth it? She was like, yes. And see, that's a lesson she'll never forget for the rest of her life. But not only her, it was somebody who was in the class who remembered that.
That's crazy.
That kind of intensity of focus, I know what my gifts and abilities are. I have this ability to transfer confidence, vision, ability, but I also have the ability, which is rare, of helping somebody else develop their own idea and make it better. So I wasn't trying to project my idea onto it. Right. It's like whatever their idea, I was helping them make their idea the best it could be. So I have another student a couple years later, I told him to do the same thing. He didn't do it.
And he did not win grand prize.
And guess what we keep talking about? Still. You should have did that. Yeah, I should have did that.
You always remind him.
Forever. Because it's a good lesson of how bad do you want something? Like, yeah, it's inconvenient in the moment, and that's no different than exercise, how you eat, how you show up for things.
That's true.
Are you going to be the person that's going to slide by, and even when somebody gives you good advice, are you going to take the advice and get to the next level? Or are you going to just slide through and just make it through and then miss it? When you know you would have won. And that's what I'm saying. I could look at stuff that was half done. After I did it so many years, I knew which ones were going to be state winners. He would have been a state winner. And he didn't even win city. And so that kind of thing. That kind of moment of who are you in those moments? Are you going to dig deep when you're tired? Are you going to do it when you don't feel like it? Are you going to do it because you don't want to? Who are you? Are you that kind of person? Because I'm going to push you, but then at the same time, I'm going to throw a party and I'm going to let everybody know and I'm going to celebrate you in your victory. And so, but at the same time, it's a teachable moment if you don't do it.
That's true. And so, okay, you mentioned something to me that really just sparked my eye. You mentioned, you have these abilities. How did you confirm those abilities? Because some people still try to figure out why they're here on earth.
Right.
Some people still try to figure out their gifts.
Right.
People, once they find their gifts, okay, now this is my passion. Now I know how everything intertwines.
Right.
So how did you figure out your abilities and then from there executing them? Because you're doing it, like you mentioned it.
Yes.
You're helping people.
Yes. Well, you know what's interesting about that? Your gift, talents, and abilities, a lot of them are born, they're innate.
Yeah.
So it does not matter if your home of or origin, where you live, if they nurture or support it or not.
Yeah.
At some point, and this is one of the things because I have the unique ability to talk to teenagers, there were some of them I have to go, you have to accept your parents for who they are.
Yeah.
Whatever issues they had, those is not speaking to your future. So you just have to suck it up and stay in high school or whatever and just deal with it till you're grown.
Yeah.
But once you're grown, you have the ability to look at who you are, look at who you want to be, and then you do things like gifts assessments. You do things like the Myers-Briggs assessment that tells you about your personality. I love taking all those different tests. And then every time I take them, I act like I'm all surprised, like, what do you mean? I'm really outgoing and charismatic. Oh my God, I had no idea. That. So that's where the confirmation comes from.
Okay.
But it also comes from what people tell you or what people say to you or those kind of things. A lot of people push it off. A lot of people, when somebody compliments you on something, most people are like, oh no, they minimize it, they downplay it. I'm like, no, say it real slow. Say it to me again.
So I can
Wait, could
receive
you write that down? Okay, talk slower. So I want to take it in. I want to absorb that moment because somebody giving you that compliment is a gift.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to be thankful and grateful for somebody taking a moment to appreciate you or to speak a word over you, or speak a word of encouragement, or speak a word of blessing. And so that's why I take a moment. If I see somebody and I like their smile, I like their outfit, whatever, I will say something. Like I try to have these moments. I always talk about memorable moments. I try to have them everywhere I go. Yeah. So what happens is when I go places, people remember me. Don't know why, I'm just myself, but in that just being myself moment, I'm sharing with them. And one of the things I realize, for example, when I leave the house now, like this is me if I'm sitting on my patio. Like makeup, hair, and makeup is, relative, like lip gloss, whatever. Lotion. So, I'm just saying, it depends on the day. So, but the point is, I put on all the jewelry, all the stuff, because it makes me happy. Yeah. It's one of the things, I always love fashion, I love style, I have my own style, I just do it. But I also realize it gives joy to other people. Yeah. So if I'm walking through and somebody stops and goes, I love your hair, and I'm like, thank you so much. And then somebody's like, oh my gosh, I love that color on you, blah, blah. Well, it gives them a moment to bless me, which is a blessing to them. Yeah. And then it blesses me back. And it's like this circular thing. If everybody would do more of that, some people are witty, like they are fast with that wit. If they would sing and share that everywhere, they would cause these ripples and effects. That's all we're supposed to do. Some other people have the gift of service. I do not have the gift of service. Yeah. I do not. I am of service, but I don't have the gift of help and service. And so the people that do, then serve. Like, and I don't mean serve, I mean the kind of people that are like, oh, did you need some more drink? Yes. Do you need something else? That kind of thing. There are some people it comes to naturally. I would like a refill of blah, blah, blah when you have a moment. Thank you so much. I'm that person.
See, I'm that person that, like you mentioned, like, hey, do you need anything from me?
Correct.
Do you need me to do this, A, B, and C? Correct. And it comes so natural.
Right. So then do more of that. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I agree.
So for example, like my mom is in that vein. She doesn't ever want the stage. She doesn't ever want the spotlight. Yeah. She wants to be helping. Yeah. She doesn't want to be in charge, but she'll be in charge of a committee. She doesn't want to speak, but she will run stuff. She will be in charge. She will show up. She will do it all. I, on the other hand, I'm like, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like, are there background dancers? Can I have fog? Because I actually tried to get fog in my classroom, and apparently that's like a fire hazard. Yes, I did. Look, I can tag the people on Facebook right now. Friend me right now, and I'll tag the people that know I asked for that. Then I asked for a stand so I could turn around. I was like, I wanted one of those Janet Jackson like portable mics. And now for your educational entertainment, we want to bring to the stage the one, the living legend, Kara. Yeah. That's how I thought I should be introduced for my class. And I told my class that.
And they shut down your dreams. They shut down your dreams. You had the
fire hazard. Yes.
Oh, now y'all see why we said the fab? You see where it comes from? The fab. Alright, so let's switch gears. You have the Prep Academy, the Single Mingle Mondays, Wildly Attracted. You have all this good stuff. Now I was telling her when we first got together, I was like, you know what? I have to say, Dating Life Entrepreneurs, I had to have you come on because that's really your brand.
Yes, it is.
Just connecting people.
Yes.
So I want to know, Why and how did you choose that as your brand?
Well, it's interesting. So we're going back to, it's almost the same the question you asked before about gifts and talents and abilities. I've always loved relationships.
Okay.
So even when I was in high school, helping my girlfriends or talking through these different issues. Then when I was working, I was myself there too. Same thing. There was a contest, I won those contests. Didn't matter who worked for me, who was on my team, on my staff, we won the contest. We did it big. Like, okay, there's this iconic sketch, you'll have to look it up on YouTube, of Carol Burnett. I love it. She was doing the scene from Gone with the Wind, where Scarlett O'Hara makes a dress out of curtains when she sees Rhett Butler.
Yes.
So Carol Burnett did it, and of course, because she's so funny, she did it and left a curtain rod in. So at the time, I worked for a major department store, and I was in charge of draperies, and it so happened I had a comforter set that was going on sale, and we're getting ready to have an all-staff meeting for the entire store, and we decided to all dress up like whatever was the major thing, and I did the whole outfit. Like a full-on dress to the floor made out of comforters, pillows, the curtain rod, all of it. I made it into a fabulous dress. That's what I'm talking about. Using the creativity, instead of just going, hi, we have comforters on sale. Nobody's going to forget that I had the comforters on sale when they saw me dressed like that.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. And then you have fun coworkers. So like they had Paul Revere cookware on sale. So he said, the cookware is on sale like Paul Revere, and he had it on his head like a hat, and it was on a little horse. The person in charge of children, we had a great department. Person in charge of children, his hair bows were on sale. So he put on a wig with like 200 hair bows and showed up at the meeting. So we were like making a statement in a way that was really good. So I've done that every single place I've gone. Even when I worked in a small little place, and I love to dance, worked in a small place in Galveston, small staff, once again, different departments. They had a contest. I think it was a dance contest. I don't know. Of course, I was in charge of the choreography. Then we did whole Men in Black, like, I'm all kinds of extra. It's important to be who you are and show up in the midst of whatever the parameters are. There's still a way to put your imprint, your personality, your gifts and talents. So once you know what they are, you keep doing those. So one of the things that happened when I was a teacher is, like I mentioned, the biggest thing is relationships. So when you spend that much time with teenagers and they're dating and they're having relationships, relationship drama affects your ability to learn. And so does not having your basic needs. So if you're hungry, you can't learn. If you haven't had enough sleep, you can't learn. And if you're having drama with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you can't learn. So for example, there was this one couple and he was always late for class. So I walked outside, I see them fussing. I looked at her and said, do you want to come in and sit next to him? She sat next to him. He was never late for class. She was happy, they were happy, I was good.
Oh, wow.
Solution.
Yeah.
I needed him in his seat to learn. But he was distracted by the needs of his girlfriend, so I took that need away. I made a solution that was a win-win for everybody. So those are the things that you bring. So what happened after a time, I had one student, I still remember who it is, Lauren had said to me, Miss Adams, when we go to college, all this advice you're giving to us, because I literally, anybody asked me anything, I gave them advice. I gave them advice about relationships. I gave them advice about how to deal with other difficult people. They're like, you should write a book, and so we can take it to college with us. I didn't write the book.
I did not.
But I should have.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. It makes no sense.
I mean, have you ever thought about it? Like, even now, to write a book? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of books in me, you know, and
yes,
so...
you do.
So what's interesting is you get to a point, and like you said, you have your gifts and talents and abilities. So I've used them everywhere I go. See, a lot of times people think now, oh, everybody thinks, oh, everybody should have a side hustle and entrepreneurship. No, you should not. Said the woman who taught entrepreneurship. Nobody should be in that position unless you're called to it. It's a gifting. It's not for everybody. And the reality is, when an entrepreneur levels up and gets bigger, what do they hire? Employees. So let's not get it twisted. Use your gifts, talents, and abilities the way you're supposed to. So support your entrepreneurs. Go work for them. And whoever you're working for used to be an entrepreneur. So no matter how big the company is, there is a place for you in that whole thing. And some of us are looking at it as bare minimum. Let me get through. Let me punch a clock. Not looking at it as like, wait a second. Somebody started this idea. And now I'm part of their huge vision. It's this huge place that their grit and hustle and determination made a place for me in this cubicle. So if you don't like the cubicle, then maybe you pick a smaller place so it's more community or whatever. But to despise new beginnings, to despise small beginnings, and despise being an employee is just downright wrong. So I wanted to make sure to make that point because we're talking about entrepreneurship, and I think it's a huge one. Don't feel this pressure to be an entrepreneur if it's not for you, if it's not your calling, if it's not giving you joy, it's not fitting into your passion, you're not happy, your relationships are tired, you're wasting your money, you're dreading it, you're not having any success, you're not excited to do it. Don't do it.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
So, in terms of relationships, I've gotten to this point of, oh my gosh, I literally go, my favorite thing in every place has always been relationships. Always putting people together. Always trying to make connections. So then it's like, I keep maneuvering and going, okay, Lord, I hear you speaking to me. Okay, all right, okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. So some of the things I'm doing right now, the Lord told me 2 years ago. So I'm literally putting to fruition things that were very specific 2 years ago. Very, very specific. So there's some things that I'm working on for fourth quarter because 2020 is not over yet.
It is not.
There's a lot of work to do. I saw this post this morning that said, pretend, I love football. Pretend it's like the fourth quarter, no punt. And I added, it's in the red zone. So like, it's like down to the wire. And so if we're in this moment and I'm like, once again, with my Tom Brady or my Peyton Manning or whoever it is, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, like whoever it is that does it for you, Colin Kaepernick, like whoever it is, think about these major iconic quarterbacks that put their whole team on their shoulder and said, it's not over until the clock ends. Oh wait, if it's tied, we go into overtime. It ain't over. It's like, keep going, stop quitting, stop getting distracted. Do what you were called to do. I'm supposed to speak about love. And the more that I speak about love, more opportunities to speak about love come into my life. That's how you know you're doing the right thing. You're getting the confirmation, just like how you were like, podcast. And then how your podcast has grown and blossomed and evolved. And it just is becoming more than, because what happens is when you're in the right place, in the right space, it becomes effortless. Doesn't mean there's not hard work, but it's effortless, and there you get this proliferation of ideas and creativity and energy, and you're joyful and you're excited and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this and that and this and that. That's how you know you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. Whether it's a job, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a relationship. Did y'all hear what I said?